Hello, FreeJord. I really appreciate you watching and commenting. Now, let's listen to the story.
My ex-wife, 45, left me, 41 male, 2 years ago after 17 years together. We have finalized our divorce during December 2020, and now we are selling the only asset we have in common, our house. We bought the house as our home and not as an investment. Therefore, we overcapitalized doing a massive renovation, not knowing, of course, that our relationship would have been destroyed quite soon. I was the one aware of this. She convinced herself that the house was now so incredible that people would pay an absurd amount of money for it. Of course, it is a beautiful house in a very nice spot, above average, but far from what she thought. She prepared all the legal documents asking for 50%, which I accepted. She made a proper evaluation which destroyed her dreams of reselling for huge money. The house must be sold by September as per the document she prepared. Now she finds herself in the position where 50% will not give the money she wanted. She offered to buy my part for the bare minimum, and after I started negotiating, she threatened to boycott the auction in September. We both have new partners, and 2 days ago she called me crying and saying that she did not want to leave me forever, that she needed a year to recover from the stress of job, family, renovation, that her partner is not a real family, that intimacy is almost non-existent, that she misses us and that she is mortified for this disaster. She cried for 30 minutes telling me that I moved on too quickly. She is spying me and my partner on Facebook, mainly my partner. My Facebook is locked, and she described the pictures where we are together. She checked where we lived and she threatened to come over there. Last month she brought some of my old stuff. It was just an excuse to see if I was still hers. Apparently my behavior was too cold. She was desperate and completely out of her mind. She told me she's taking antidepressants and she has panic attacks, and even her son, my stepson, is on my side. I am putting this out as I need to tell this to someone. It's like I need to let this out. She hurt me so much, she caused an incredible mess, and now that she feels the pain, she's doing all this. I love my partner and I feel guilty even thinking of going back. I'm scared to go back. Part of me thinks about the good memories. Part of me is terrified. I feel pity for my ex. I don't think I can love her anymore, but part of me believed she was my soulmate for almost 2 decades. I never heard her so desperate in her life. I should be happy for this karma coming back. I feel only emptiness. I barely slept 2 hours last night. She's only looking to reconcile because she's not getting the money out of the house she thought she would. I guarantee that if you got back together, she'd hang around until the house appreciated enough to where she wanted it to be. Besides, she's the one who walked out. If she really does want to resume the relationship, too bad. So sad you've moved on, and you should stay moved on. Totally agree. I think she's coming back for selfish reasons. Maybe she realized that OP is a good guy. Sounds like one. Or she is uncomfortable because of the global situation and refuses to take responsibility for herself. None of her confusion is OP's fault, and even though it's normal for him to feel torn between his feelings, I'd recommend to look out for his own happiness and not go back to someone who already left him once and is coming back just to use him. Plus, all the stalking and territorial behavior is a huge red flag on its own. It's hard, I'm sure, to spend 20 years striving for happiness and caring about someone so much, and then feeling like the one who is causing them so much unhappiness now. But don't forget what brought all this crashing down. It's an ugly end to a lot of memories that you can cherish, but if you were to go back to her because she's upset, you wouldn't be able to know for sure that you weren't being manipulated because she changed her mind about the house and being alone, not about you. Translation. She needs a year for the house prices to rise again after the global issue settles down. She's financially terrified, but that's no longer your responsibility. You need to talk with your lawyer, A, to make sure this sale happens, and B, to advise on a restraining order. She's threatening to do stalkerish behavior on you and your current interest. Your feelings for your ex are complicated and normal and typical, and you need to ignore them or she will destroy you. Your lawyer does not have those feelings, hence, hand this whole mess to them. I, 39 male, have been married to my wife, 36, for 12 years. We have no children, but we do have a cat and a dog who we consider to be our children. My wife has a sister, Megan, 37, who has made very poor financial choices and is now heavily in debt. She refuses to get a job and instead jumps on multi-level marketing or get-rich-quick scams, sponging off relatives to make ends meet. Both me and my wife work full-time. We each have separate accounts that we use for our fun money for hobbies or whatever we want. We earn almost the same amount of money, with me being a little higher, so I contribute 60% and she contributes 40% to make things fair, and also so we have about the same amount of fun money. We also have a joint checking and savings account that we use for the household bills and household emergency fund, like when the water heater flooded the basement in the middle of the night. Both of us have access to the joint accounts, and if we need to use it, it's never an issue, so long as we make sure to tell the other that we use funds from those accounts. As I was going through the statements for our joint household account, I noticed that there was approximately $2,000 missing from the joint savings account. I noticed that they were all Venmo transfers to her sister. When my wife came home from work, I asked what this was about, and she told me that her sister needed money to start her own business. My wife sat me down and explained to me that her sister joined yet another stupid pyramid scheme, this time selling fake nails and makeup. My wife said that she has the potential to earn 6 figures a month, and if that was true, she too was going to join her sister selling these products, and if she made enough, she would quit her job and sell them full-time with her sister. I told my wife that she either needs to get that money back from her sister, or I would open up a new account for my share of the household expenses and transfer my money to that account when it was time to pay bills. My wife is upset with me and doesn't understand why I'm being so unsupportive. I told my wife that not only did she take money and not tell me about it, she invested it into something without even considering how I would feel about it. My sister-in-law called me last night and said that I was a raging idiot and a control freak and that I was stopping my wife from using her full potential. I told my sister-in-law that I would support my wife in anything she chooses to do, as long as it would not cause financial harm to our family. My wife and sister-in-law are both mad at me, and now I feel like an idiot. Am I the idiot for telling my wife to get the money back? Not the idiot. You don't secretly take money from a joint account. You ask as it's family money. I'd separate accounts. Your wife is intent on joining a pyramid scheme and will end up losing thousands. Statistically, this is the most likely outcome of pyramid schemes, MLMs. Protect your assets before that happens. I would also make it clear to your wife that any money spent on her harebrained pyramid scheme needs to come out of her fun money, not the household bills money. You are not the idiot. Had she spent her own fun money, that would be one thing. She can do whatever she wants with that. She can either get that money back from her sister or use her discretionary income to top up the account, but she cannot make unilateral decisions about family funds without your approval. Unless she's cool with you literally setting $2,000 on fire in front of her because you felt like it. You are not wrong, but you know you're not getting that money back. Your wife seems to be getting sucked into the MLM void. They are very good at targeting women and encouraging them to cut off the haters who can't and won't support them in their girl boss endeavor. You'll need to tread carefully with your wife though. If she's been sucked in too far to the MLM life, it'll be very hard for her to break out. My, male 43, sister's wedding was last week. She sent me and my wife an invitation and said that the wedding allowed kids, so everyone was bringing their kids to the event. Once I heard that kids were allowed, I let my wife know and she decided to go dress shopping with our daughter. Our daughter is quite picky when it comes to clothes. It took them several visits to the mall to find what our daughter was looking for. The day of the wedding, my daughter came wearing her dress and showing it off. She wanted to take a minute and look at. I turned around and saw that it was a white gown that looked like a wedding dress. I don't know what I felt, but it wasn't right. I asked my wife why she let our daughter buy a white dress knowing it's inappropriate and unwanted at any wedding. She said it was no big deal and that it can't possibly be a distraction because that's ridiculous. I was mad. I kept thinking, what are mother and sister going to say when they see it? I told my daughter she needed to go change or she isn't allowed to come when wearing this dress. She had a meltdown asking why. I told her it's her choice after she refused and didn't allow her to come with us to the wedding. My wife screamed at me after my daughter went upstairs, calling me an idiot for not letting her attend over a dress. Called me crazy to think my daughter would steal the attention and I ended up going alone. My family knew. Some agreed with me while my sister blew up saying she wanted her niece there and I screwed up big time because it didn't matter if she wore white. She's a kid. My wife and daughter haven't been talking to me ever since, and no one seems to understand how I could have taken the blame if my daughter showed up in white. This one hurts to read. You were screwed no matter what you did, blamed if she wore white and blamed for her not attending. I'm going with you are not the idiot here because you erred on the side of caution. You could have called others to see if it would be okay. That's just about the only way you could have made it through this thing without taking shots from someone. Not the idiot. You did the right thing. Your wife sounds childish and rude. She should have your back no matter what. She took your daughter shopping. She should have been the adult and told your daughter no white dresses allowed. You're all idiots here. Your wife should have known that it's common sense that most brides don't want other people wearing white at their wedding. But your daughter is only a child, and if she's set on that dress, you or your wife should have called your sister to see if she would mind. That neither you nor your wife thought to check with the bride is where you both went wrong. You're definitely an idiot for how you handled this, but so was your wife. Lol, what? If a young lady wants to wear something inappropriate, you tell her it's inappropriate. It's not the bride's job to parent your child. You don't wear white dresses to weddings, that's basic manners. You are not wrong. It sounds like your wife might have bought your daughter a first communion dress, which are mini versions of wedding dresses, and she would stand out like a sore thumb at a wedding. People might mistake her for the flower girl. I believe you did the right thing. Last year I bought a house in my area. Really wonderful old red brick. When I was in the process of buying it, I discovered that the purchase also includes the entirety of the alley. I asked the realtor if this was true. They said yes. I went to the courthouse to double check and confirmed it. So I buy the house. I meet some of the neighbours and I made a joke about charging them rent to use my alley. They flipped out. I was not looking at starting a war, so I just kind of let it blow over. Then winter arrived and the neighbours started demanding I have the alley ploughed every time it snowed, because I own the alley and I'm responsible for it. One of them told me they would sue me if they slipped and fell in the alley. I don't believe they were joking. I paid a friend $25 a month to plough the alley every time it snows to keep them happy, but during this time I was also talking with some people at the courthouse. As soon as the snow started to melt in my area, I got a hold of some local contractors and had them build a gate at the entrance of the alley that I keep locked. I've also posted trespass warning signs on the gate. It's all completely legal. I made sure of it before I did this. Now the neighbours are just livid. Basically, everyone is calling me an idiot, including my family. One final note. I'm only here to settle a debate with my sister. Regardless if I'm an idiot or not, the alley isn't going to be opened up again. You don't threaten me with a good time. You are not the idiot. Someone threatened to sue you over a perceived potential hazard. You blocked access to the hazard. That's a reasonable response. Problem solved. Enjoy your alley. You are not wrong. If they've threatened to sue you, then you're only protecting your own interests. If it's not a public right-of-way and you own it, then you can do as you please with it. If they hadn't been such idiots, you wouldn't have had to go to such lengths. You are the idiot, and I can't believe people are saying otherwise. First of all, you made a really bad joke about charging your neighbours rent when you just met them. Then, you're complaining that you had to plough that alley. I'm pretty sure the neighbours legally aren't allowed to hire somebody to plough it on your behalf since you own it. Of course they want you to plough it. I don't think they really have any other choice. And in the comments you mentioned you're blocking your neighbours' garages. Now your neighbours don't have access to their own garages because you're on a little power trip. Lots of people seem to mix up legality and morality. Yes, legally it's your property, but you're still a massive idiot. You're all idiots. OP, you're blocking off access to 2 of your neighbours' garages. With your neighbours who threatened to sue you being by far the bigger idiots, they put you in an impossible situation. It would be nice of you to try to work something out with the neighbours who otherwise can't park their cars in their garages, or were those the same people who threatened to sue you? Perhaps they could pay for ploughing and maintenance, but I do get why you blocked off the alley. I've been with my girlfriend Mia for a couple of years. We barely moved in not too long ago, and this particular incident happened a few months back. Quick backstory. Mia had a boyfriend for years before she met me. He passed away and it was very traumatic for her. He had epilepsy and had a seizure in the middle of the night once when they were asleep. Mia didn't know until she woke up that morning and found him unresponsive. Few years later, she met me and we started going out. I was aware of what happened after we started dating, and I always try to be understanding about that. So back to this incident. Mia woke me up once in the middle of the night in a full-blown panic. I'm talking screaming my name and shaking me hard. She told me she thought I wasn't breathing and freaked out even more when I wouldn't wake up. I consoled her for the rest of the night because she was terrified and crying non-stop. I tried talking to her about seeing someone because his death was obviously traumatic for her, and I was surprised to find out she never did counseling. She said she only did a few sessions but didn't like the guy and also didn't want to talk about her ex that way. But this keeps happening. Not as bad as the first night, but Mia just constantly wakes me up because she gets scared I'm not breathing. I did see my doctor in case there was actually something wrong with me, and we did a sleep study. Everything came back clear, but she still panics if she thinks something's wrong and wakes me up. I've tried to be supportive because I know she doesn't mean to be this way, but even after I keep telling her we should look into finding her help, she doesn't want to. For me, sleeping is important. I wake up super early and already have trouble falling asleep as it is. If I wake up, it takes time till I can fall asleep again. A few nights ago, I kinda had it with the lack of sleep. I told Mia I'm sleeping on the couch and rather not sleep in the same bed until she can agree to find a way to cope with this anxiety, because I feel we can't live like that and she shouldn't have to constantly deal with that fear. Mia has been mad at me ever since, telling me I'm being an idiot for punishing her over something she has no control of. I just felt like I was at my wit's end. It's been a few months of this and I didn't know what else to do. She's been distant, but when we do talk, she makes it known how much this is hurting her. So I do feel really bad, and I'm wondering if changing our sleeping arrangements until she gets help was a wrong move, because it's like I'm forcing her to go to therapy, in her words. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. The problem isn't that she has no control over her anxiety, it's that she's not taking any steps to gain control in spite of knowing her actions are harming you. She needs professional help for this. I agree wholeheartedly with this. She knows the issue and is actively refusing to seek help to start to resolve it. It's not punishment, just you need your sleep. Consequences teach us important lessons, and the consequence of not getting help is not sleeping in the same bed. You are not the idiot. You're not forcing her to go to therapy. You're setting the boundaries you need to set in order to remain a functioning human while still trying to be there for her. I have the utmost sympathy for her suffering, and I can't begin to fathom the level of trauma that must be impacting her, but nonetheless, I have to say that she's being an idiot in this situation, partly to you, but above all to herself for not taking the steps she needs to heal. No idiots here. Ask Mia if she could simply hold a mirror under your nose to check your breathing, instead of waking you up and causing constant sleep deprivation. I doubt she wants to impact your life so negatively, though it doesn't seem she realizes that's exactly what she's doing. She needs to wake up.